Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we're so excited to have you again. Let's digress a little bit away from the Niger coup and possible Nigeria military intervention to what is happening in the country, especially in the southeast. Interesting things are happening because it's already very clear that Simon Ekpa, who is currently the president of or the prime minister of Biafra in exile, have decided to do a different pathway, leaving Mazinamdi Kanu and everything he has to say beside. Now, don't forget that Mazinamdi Kanu had already sent out a lot of messages to him that he should call off the seat at home and all of that, but he had declined. But shockingly, a new update has come up, which Simon Ekpa has reacted to, and that update is coming up from IPOP themselves, and they are saying that it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that had sent out this latest update, and you get to hear what Simon Ekpa have to say about it, and all of this will revolve around the issue of sit at home. And according to the news, the detained leader of the pro-Biafra group, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOP, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has abolished all forms of sit at home in the southeast and declared that every Monday in the region be observed as Economic Empowerment Day, that's EED. This was disclosed in a statement by IPOP Media and Publicity Secretary Emma Powerful on Saturday. I'll take that again. This was disclosed in a statement by IPOP Media and Publicity Secretary Emma Powerful. Explaining IPOP statement read, "Thus Economic Empowerment Day EED connotes a day set aside for mass mobilization of Biafrans to devote their resources and means towards reversing the sharp and unprecedented decline in the economic, educational, and social need of our people occasioned by the prolonged sit at home. During the EED exercise, the people of Biafra were encouraged to embark on massive deployment of their resources for the empowerment of the educational, disadvantaged, and poverty-ridden population of our people. Sit-at-home exercise was initially adopted by IPOB as part of its agitation for a sovereign state of Biafra, but variously it became abused by other variants of Biafra agitators, including the most condemned version of Simon Ekpa. Following the total cancellation of all forms of sit at home in the entire Southeast, as clearly and unequivocally encapsulated in Oyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's handwritten letter, which was recently published by Special Counsel Barrister Aloy Jofo, widely trained and deservedly celebrated. Oyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has, as a follow-up to the recorded acceptability and massive compliance with the directive, further directed Umo Chineke to henceforth set aside every Monday as an Economic Empowerment Day, EED, in the entire Southeast. During this exercise, Biafrans are encouraged to embark on massive deployment of their resources for the empowerment of the educationally disadvantaged and poverty-ridden population of our people through education, employment, health services, sense of identity, and community. Our people and indeed the eastern region can begin to strive and grow. There is an urgent need to reclaim our lost glory by embarking on empowering Biafra with the resources they need to live beyond mere subsistence, as our people are known globally for hard work, resilience, and great achievement. Also, the implication of this economic empowerment, the EED, is that Biafra is expected to devote significant time to adhere to their routine calendar schedule template strictly and uninterruptedly, with a view to making up for the humongous time lost to the activities of misguided enforcers of unsanctioned Monday sit at home. But guess what? In reaction to this, Simon Ekpa has decided to do a different direction, and he says that it is absolutely untrue as he counters the IPOP statement for Economic Empowerment Day. According to the news, Simon Ekpa, a popular Biafra agitator and separatist, has described as fake and untrue claims making the rounds of a purported economic empowerment day. Ekpa, the Finland-based lawyer and Prime Minister of Biafra Republic government in exile, disclosed this on Saturday through his social media handle. He was reacting to a statement by the spokesperson of indigenous people of Biafra, Emma Powerful, declaring Monday as Economic Empowerment Day. But Ekpa stressed that Igbos should disregard the claim. He reiterated his resolve to achieve Biafran liberation and a referendum. According to his words, he says there is nothing like economic empowerment in Biafra within Nigeria. After the 2-week sit at home, since these criminals and corrupt politicians are taking us for granted, we will continue to observe civic disobedience in the eastern region. Biafrans should wait for the announcement. That was what he said. Now, before now, we have seen a lot of people coming out to tell Nigerians that DSS granted them opportunity to meet with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and virtually all of them, the likes of Ifeanyi Uba, Dan Ulasi, and some other key Southeasterners have come back with one message that he is still in a very high spirit, talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and that the handwritten letter was actually from him, and he had said that he never released it under duress. It was done intentionally, and that if Simon Ekpa aligns with one, loves him and is aligned with him, he needs to call off the sit at home. But guess what? Despite all of this, Simon Ekpa have decided to continue in his own way, that they will not stop the issue of sit at home as long as, according to him, Biafra exists within the walls of Nigeria. Now, guess what? He had gotten a lot of support from different persons, but looking at the situation on ground and the current economic state in Nigeria, I think wisdom is profitable to direct at this point, because as far as we are concerned, Nigerians must survive. If you are living in Nigeria, you need to survive, because the economy is not smiling. For example, if you look at the trend of events thus far, you notice that transportation has increased, fuel has increased, virtually everything is going higher and higher in terms of pricing. So if someone is telling you you should observe sit at home Monday, Tuesday, you should observe sit at home for 2 weeks, from my own perspective, the person is not doing you well, and that's the truth. It's not helping out in any way. Yes, some people may say, after all, this and that and that and that, but let's try to be very reasonable here. The best person who has the right to pass such a message is someone who has conglomerate here in Nigeria. If you have a conglomerate here in Nigeria and you are living in Nigeria, and that conglomerate that you have as a business is in the southeast, and you say they should be sit at home, someone can give you a salute and say, sir, it means you really mean business. But if you are somewhere far away, and possibly you're doing your business there, you're enjoying yourself there, and you come and send a message down. I mean, we should grow beyond this now. This is not a good one, because if you say there's a sit at home, and then on that Monday, another way of justifying it, sit at home to everybody, but on every Monday, you send in reasonable amounts that will take care of the profits of those in Southeast. You understand? Make sure you enroll yourself, you're a Biafran and all of that. Okay, we'll ensure that each and every person goes home with at least, let's say, at least a $500, at least a $500, or okay, minimal $300 everybody, so that we can really respect this sit at home. But you're not doing any of this, and you are staying wherever you are staying and enjoying yourself, and you hope people should stay back and suffer with you and accept what you're saying. I think Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has seen that it is actually out of place to do that. But Simon Ekpa says he's not going to listen to anybody. And I'm just wondering if he's still under the control of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as he had said before now. I don't think, because he had already declared himself to be the president or the prime minister of Biafra in exile. So I don't think that the man is under anybody's control right now. He had retweeted, he has sent out a lot of tweets. This one, he says, by the time we finish with these political criminals from Southeast, they will regret every step they have taken so far. He went further to say here, and I'm going to quote exactly what he said. He said, join ESN stroke BLA emergency fundraising, which means there's a fundraising going on, and I don't know whose pocket this is going into. He says here, just like we have read out to you, that there's nothing like a sit at home. He says justice for the case ex-husband whose wife was okay. That one is a different one. The guy is really standing his ground that as far as he is concerned, that all this issue of economic empowerment day and blah 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 is stories for the gods, but they must continue in their way. And Nigerians and some persons who are seeing this seems to be enjoying the consistency, But however, what's your position looking at all of this? What's your position on his recent reaction to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has said?